Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello, all the participants. First of all, I would like to say thank you for the time given to me. Second time, let me introduce myself. My name is Nur Intan Kusuma. I'm a lecturer of undergraduate program in midwifery, Faculty of Health Sciences, Universitas Muhammadiyah Pekajangan Pekalongan. It's a great honor for me to elaborate our study in this great occasion, especially the fourth Borobudur International Symposium, which is held by UNIMA. In this occasion, I would like to present our study with the title Husband and Family Support for Breastfeeding Mothers with COVID-19, the Mother's Perspective. This study was created by me, Nur Intan Kusuma, as the first author, Ibu Rini Kristianti as second author, and Ibu Milatun Hanifah as the third author. Move to the next slide. Okay, this is the outline of my presentation. I will explain about the introduction, method, research result, and last is conclusion. This is the introduction. One of the most effective ways to ensure the health and survival of the children is through breastfeeding. However, the fact showed that almost 2 out of 3 babies were not exclusively breastfed for 6 months. As we know, then breast milk has been proven to be the most ideal food for the babies. Breast milk contains nutrition that is safe, clean, and contains antibodies that could protect against diseases. COVID-19 pandemic situation has created the problems such as the restriction on services for mothers and children, including breastfeeding services. This pandemic condition became a challenge in supporting and promoting breastfeeding and managing the risk of transmission of COVID-19 disease. One of the efforts to help mothers continue to provide breast milk to their babies is by providing support to the mother. Breastfeeding support comes from healthcare providers, health workers, then their husband and their families. Support could be carried out by implementing WHO recommendation for mothers to continue breastfeeding in the first hour, facilitating the mothers and baby to skin contact, and ensuring that husband and family could continue to provide the support in person if possible, or online for all families without exception. I mean that not only for families who have financial ability. We can see in this slide, the previous studies have shown that while mothers are isolated, they still receive support from their partners or their husband, from their mothers and their mother-in-law in the form of baby care, positioning the baby while breastfeeding, and providing motivation through positive statements related to breastfeeding and recovery. However, several other participants stated that they could not receive the support that they wanted. Another study also stated that participants avoided talking to her family because they did not provide support for her. This is our purpose of study. The study aimed to explore the experiences of breastfeeding mothers with COVID-19 regarding the support that they received from their husband and family. This is the method of the study. The study used qualitative research method with a phenomenological approach. Then the study involved 11 informants in the Pekalongan Regency. Participants were selected based on purposive sampling with the criteria of having a history of COVID-19 within the time of breastfeeding. Then the data collection was carried out by interviews and recorded by audio recording. Then the result of the interviews were carried out in the transcript, and then the transcript were analyzed with thematic analysis. The research refers to strict criteria for maintaining the trustworthiness validity of qualitative research compiled by Lincoln and Guba. The criteria are credibility, transferability, dependability, and conformability. This is the research result. The first is about characteristic of the informants. We can see in this figure, almost all the participants are housewife. Then the age of the participant 45.5 is between 30 until 39. Then all of the informants are Muslim with various class education and various the confirmed time of COVID-19. This is the main finding of this research. There were two themes, namely social support by husband and family, then the continuous of breastfeeding. There are sub-themes from social support by husband and family is instrumental or practical support, and then emotional support. From the themes of the continuous of breastfeeding, there are two sub-themes, namely continue to breastfeed and stop breastfeeding. This is the some quotes from the informants for theme 1. For the example, here I'm accompanied by my husband. He is the one who provides assistance to prepare everything for me during isolation at home. It shows that informant have received the support from her husband by accompanied her when she was isolation in her house. This is another quotes from the informants. The food was cooked by my mother from vegetables that picked from the backyard. From informant 4 stated that she has received the support from her mother by preparing the food for her. This is some quotes from the informants. Theme 2, for example, then when the baby comes home, I immediately breastfeed. So the participant or the informant 8 immediately breastfeed after the baby come home from the hospital. And this is the example of quote from informant 2. Why isn't the milk coming out? Instead, the breasts are flat and the milk isn't coming out. The informant 2 stated that she stopped breastfeeding because the breast milk does not coming out. The results of the study indicate that mothers with COVID-19 have received support from their husband and families in the form of instrumental or practical support and emotional support. Support from husband in the form of preparing or sending food for mothers, sending breast milk for the babies that separated from their mothers due to isolation, and giving more time and attention to mothers. Support also came from the mother-in-law or other family of the informant while the informant was undergoing isolation. Practical support from the mothers and mother-in-law includes helping with preparing meals and helping with caring for the baby. Support from the family is also in the form of emotional support by giving advice, encouragement, and reassuring the mother about her condition so that she can continue to breastfeed and focus on her recovery. The study also showed that some mothers were unable to continue breastfeeding their babies because of the condition of the mother's breast that had not been sucked from the baby for a long time during isolation. However, most of other informants were still able to continue breastfeeding their babies. Support for mothers with COVID-19 is needed to achieve successful breastfeeding. Support can be obtained from husband, mother, and mother-in-law by helping with baby care, positioning the baby while breastfeeding, and providing motivation through positive statement about breastfeeding. Previous research has shown that the support from the closest family that mothers with COVID-19 receive while breastfeeding can help the breastfeeding process and mother's recovery. The support is urgently needed so that mothers can continue to breastfeed their babies even though they are infected with COVID-19. This is the references. This is the conclusion. Support for mothers with COVID-19 is needed to achieve successful breastfeeding. Providing support to mothers with COVID-19 by husband and families is one of the factors that could strengthen mothers to continue breastfeeding. Thank you for the attention. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.